Right, let's see if this thing starts. Hasn't been started since the MOT, which is what, probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. Fingers crossed. That was good news. Starting up immediately, I'm really pleased. Next trick will be to bring the Oldsmobile back, get it up onto my ramps. I've never looked underneath it and I want to see just what it looks like, clean, rusty, dirty, whatever. Right, that's halfway. Now we've got to get them up the ramp, right? be able to get in underneath there, take a look, and see just how good or bad its health is. But I'll close the gate. I'm quickly going to have a coffee that I started making just now, and then we'll take it from there. Take a look at this car from underneath. Just from what I can see, there's not a lot wrong with it. It seems to have really escaped the rust monsters. But I'll be back in a moment. You can see the daffodils are going to open up this week. If we have another day's worth of sun, daffodils will be on the go. It's all good. Completely overcast. But it's not raining for the first time in about bloody 3 weeks. So I'm going to have a quick look at the underside of this car, because it's just not allowed me to really take a look, and I've not had it up on a ramp so I could walk in underneath it like I would have done at the MOT station. They always allow me with sort of supervision to have a look. But one of the things I wanted to look at was actually the underside of the vehicle to see what it looks like. So I'm literally just going to crawl around on my knees, take a look at the underside. First I'll just video it, and I'll take a look myself, and I might even overdub. If you look at the sills, they're as tidy as hell. Underside, I mean, you can see a bit of grease there, which is good, but other than that, zero rust. There looks like to be a little tiny bit of something, which I'll have a look at now. And you look at the back, toward the back of the engine, nothing. These fenders, for those that don't know, are actually plastic. So there's a crack on that one, that's the only one that's damaged. And the one on the other side has a little tiny crack right on the front tip, both which are easy enough to fix if you know what you're doing, which I can't say I do, but I do. Obviously, you see the amount of green moss everywhere, so it kind of shows this car hasn't really been washed or scrubbed and polished and everything else. Similarly with this paint, all of this needs sanding back. I'm assuming this is an aluminium alloy of some sort that they used to make these covers. I'm not sure. And then those that asked about the roof, why am I painting it, etc., you can see the damage to the paint in various places. Bits pulled off, quite a bit of it loose as well. I'll go around the back. As you can see, once again, we've touched on this before, the fact that this paint is pretty buggered, which is kind of a good excuse for me to repaint the car. So I'm going to crawl in from the other side, because that's my strongest side, I suppose you could say. More paint damage. Let's actually have a look down this side quickly, down the sills as well. See what they look like. Once again, looking underneath, I really can't see rust or anything. Exhaust pipe has bits of sort of chippy rust. To me that almost implies low use, because if you tend to use these things a lot, there's a little bubble. Don't want to scratch and dig on it, but that's the only little bubble I can see. Everything else is absolutely smooth and pretty, which is bonus. Has a couple of dents on this door, which if you look carefully, you'll see one there and one a little bit further on. I think paintless dent removal services will be able to deal with that. I'm not going to try and knock them out and spend a lot of effort on them. I think PDR is the answer on that. Then obviously more damage everywhere, and then I'll crawl in underneath and take a look and see what it looks like underneath at the back here. Once again, the muffler seems to be intact everywhere. If I look at these bends, this is probably factory spec muffler. I don't know what kind of life expectancy people have from these. But if it's been replaced, it's probably been replaced with a factory spec one. Assuming that there's a bolt-on space there. Small dent in this cover, the heat shield over there. That could be anything. But then if I crawl further around here and I look for a 34-year-old car, bits of surface rust here and there. If you guys see anything that you don't like, tell me. Obviously the exhaust pipe, I think it's a 2.5 inch. I would love to either put some type of a straight pipe through with a small muffler at the back, or somewhere around here to cut in, here's my finger, to cut into this section a cutout valve, electronic cutout valve, so you can make a noise when it suits you, but not all the time. Rear coil spring suspension. Looks like that's all that holds the rear end up, and possibly some kind of a torsion bar, I'm not sure. Don't know how difficult it will be to lower the rear end. What sort of magic you need to do. There's obviously another stabilizer type bar there, but that's the guy I'm worried about. Unless it's the fuel filler. Aha, that's the fuel filler pipe going down there. And I think this is some kind of a torsion bar that just keeps everything in line. But yeah, I'd like to lower the whole car by about 2 inches. Coming around this side, once again, I don't think that this exhaust system has ever been replaced. I say optimistically. It's one solid long unit, including the silencer, which obviously gets fitted from the front all the way to the back. There's a catalytic converter, I think, down there somewhere. Out front. It's just seen a bit of surface rust, don't I say surface rust, a bit of rust at the end of that sill. But that's not kind of thing that will fail in MOT or anything. Everything else, all the sills are tidy. Shockingly so. But I'm thankful. And maybe this car has actually lived indoors most of its life. I don't know. So, I still have that chest infection aftermath. Looking at everything else here, I am very, very pleased. There's some other stuff that needs fixing sometime, but I'll get to that. So yeah, this is kind of, I suppose, first little inspection of the underside of this car. Next stop will be getting it up on a ramp and getting a good look underneath and filming that again. But for the moment, pleased as punch. So I went back and had to take a look, and yes, it looks like this is definitely, this muffler has had its day. It's falling apart there, it's falling apart there. Probably more damage to the top, I can't see that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be going down the motorway and this will fall out and blow out. So I guess I have to find something, maybe just a performance muffler, I don't know. Somebody can suggest what I can use to replace it. It is massive. So maybe find something that fits, that is a bit louder, and just cut that end off, put a strap and a clamp over it, and leave the rest of the pipe work as it stands, and just make it a little bit louder at the back. Continuation of what we started yesterday. I thought I'd get it up on the ramp on this side quickly, just to get a quick look underneath the front side of the engine. That pipe again seems to be the original. I'm assuming this is a catalytic converter, and then everything else seems original. Hard to believe, but there you go. Front end suspension parts. Again, I'm not clever with dropping suspensions. I've never done that other than on my old bus. And just looking in from underneath the front end here. Again, wettiness there. Not bothered about any of that. But yeah, I think this car somehow, somewhere in its life, has lived a pretty decent life. I'm pleased for that. A couple of little marks that need cleaning up. Little cracks, those can be fixed. And then I mentioned this little piece that's cracked there on the corner of the front fender. Easy to fix. Bit of stitching, bit of filling. Job done. Another cloudy day. Heavy rain forecast for later today. But there we go. And the wind, of course. So yeah, take us off the ramp now. And then we'll carry on. I need to find a silencer for the rear. Definitely find something performance orientated. Thanks for watching. Still overcast, miserable. I was talking about the fact that there were no daffodils, and I looked out the street, across the street, and there is one little daffodil bush bravely coming out. Nothing else, just cold and miserable. But like I say, one little brave soul. I like that. They are very, very pretty. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all those good things.